A very pleasant Thursday morning to you. Welcome once again to Untengle. So it is now, let me check my time here. It's now 4 minutes after 11 o'clock. And of course, we always invite you to be part of our conversation as we untangle the trending just about this time every Thursday morning here on Untengle. So the story is going to be given to us by our producer, but I will just give you a hint as to what the story is all about. Well, the story is all about that fireman who protested on top of the Halfway Tree Transport Center. And Lafaine, you there?
Yes, Mama. Morning.
All right. So this story here, Lafaine, let us you tell us about it. I don't know, something, for some strange reason, I just figured that it was somebody who was mentally unsound, and I did not follow that story.
Yeah, most people did, because when the videos initially started coming in on social media, persons were really in a frenzy, like, is he gonna take his life? Is he gonna jump off? What's going on? But then it was later revealed that it was suspended firefighter Sergeant Leo Bennett, who took his one-man protest to the top of the Halfway Tree Transport Center on Tuesday morning, sending the nation in a frenzy. And as we mentioned, some persons thought he was mentally unstable and about to take his life. However, he said that he was protesting because of a list of demands he had regarding the welfare and wages of firefighters that need urgent attention. So he took this extreme measure to have his voice heard and confirmed that he, along with 6 other members of the Jamaica Fire Brigade, were suspended after a protest last May in the vicinity of the headquarters of the Fire Brigade about what he says is the ill treatment of his colleagues whose welfare is being ignored.
So this is not the first time he has protested.
Right.
Yet. So, okay, all right, fine. I didn't know that part. So he did this one alone. So is he on suspension?
He's on suspension because of the protest last May. So there's supposed to be a hearing held because of that. So I'm not sure how this protest now will affect that, but yeah, he's on suspension.
I am interested to know how his colleagues, what do they think? How do they think?
Well, I suppose the ones he protested with last year May would be, standing in solidarity with him, but he's that one man that says, you know what, I am fed up, tired of what's going on, tired of our issues not being addressed, so I'll go on top of the Halfway Tree Transport Center, make everybody see I'm upset.
You have to respect somebody like that.
Of course, definitely.
Because you realize, all right, him take on this one alone the last time he had friends.
Exactly.
And his colleagues obviously decided that they never go climb up there with him. So, and understandably so, not calling them a coward or anything.
Right.
But the last time they went out there, it got them suspended.
Right.
And you see, this is the power that them have in the corporate world.
Right.
Because people living from paycheck to paycheck.
Exactly.
So to be suspended for any, even
period
a
of
short
time.
period of time can be, devastating.
Of course.
So this lone man climbs on top of the Halfway Tree Transport Center and made his protest. Did he have a placard or anything telling us what it was about?
He had a big Jamaican flag and he had his phone. We actually have a video. I don't know if it's ready to be played, Kevin. Yeah, so we can have a look at that video now.
Right.
No retreat.
Oh, I hear it. Oh.
No surrender. We need a better Jamaica. No retreat. No surrender.
Yeah, so there he is with the Jamaican flag, right?
Let me tell you, something though, Lafaine. I know, as I said before, I am one of them that thought it was somebody who had mental challenges.
Right.
But when you brought it to my attention that he really was just fighting for justice, it is a sad statement from the Jamaican society.
It is that he had to go to take that drastic measure to get attention. I mean, everybody was like, when I saw the videos initially, I'm like, you know what, I'm just avoiding Halfway Tree because that is triggering because me for the height. So if you see somebody up there, so first of all, may I say, how he reach up there? I hope no breeze, no strong wind, no blow him off, or So I was just like, I'm just avoiding that altogether. But then
I can just imagine.
yeah,
And that's the only problem that I have with how he did it, is that it triggered all kinds of anxiety amongst the
definitely,
people.
definitely.
Especially since he wasn't saying clearly, because I'm dressed like a fireman,
Right.
but I don't know, I am head. Could I take him an inches so we don't know?
Right.
no, in a real life.
That's
in
true.
A real
That
life.
is true. That is true.
Yeah. So if you just said, I am a real fireman, and just let us know that you're up there for a cause. So it's when him come down, we realize what the cause was.
Right. I mean, he, in the video, I'm not sure if he said it in the video, but he's quoted as saying, "I'm here to highlight the poor treatment of firefighters. Our welfare issues are not being looked at. We have never asked the government for a cent more. We have never pressured any government, whether this government or any other government, on money, but there are a whole heap of issues which affect us, our safety, our health, mental and physical." So
Very well represented.
definitely.
Very well represented. Not a thing not do him.
Yeah, man.
Very
Sensible.
well represented.
Sensible.
But Lafaine, let us talk about what he just said.
Yes.
Because it's some serious, like the police officers.
Yes.
The other day, I was watching a group of firemen. There was a fire, many bushfires now.
Right.
Because
right.
the time dry
Yes,
and hot,
the drought,
right?
yes.
And every minute them being called for a bushfire.
Exactly.
And there was one fairly near, and it was a bushfire. And I watched as these firemen worked against all kind of odds, because the wind blowing, so it a fan the fire.
Definitely.
The water where them have, every minute them have to send for backup because them not have enough water. So a whole heap of challenges them a face out there. And I think, something, Lafaine, most of us would just think it's just a fireman. So probably that's why he had to actually climb up on top
Yes.
of that roof.
That's
For
right.
sure, people say it's not just a fireman.
That's true. That's true. And he went on to talk about, the circumstances under which they have to work, and
Yeah, man.
they're literally risking their lives each and every day. So
Yeah,
at
man.
least they can make where they're working, or the space that they're occupying on a daily basis.
Yeah.
Make them
Yeah.
feel good.
This story comes at a time after I witnessed exactly what I saw them, man and woman, because there were women on the team
Right.
of firefighters, moving into the fire
There you go.
to try, because they were coming up against serious resistance from the breeze and from the lack of water.
There you go.
And they were there literally fighting the fire.
Right.
And especially now, I heard that they sent out a release saying that people must be more responsible about how they light things.
Right.
Because the time is dry and it's hot and there is no water. So we have to be very careful about how we light fires, if at all.
Exactly. Yeah, so it's not a case where they understand that when you sign up to be a firefighter, you're basically saying anything can happen, any game can play, I can lose my life on the job, but give me the resources to work with, ensure that I'm protected in the job that I'm
Yes,
doing
ma'am.
or signed up to do.
Absolutely. And there are just too many grosses. And there are
Definitely.
times when, we ourselves go to, let us say, a police station and it dilapidated. Look at the courthouses.
It's true.
Yeah,
And the
there was-
hospitals. I don't know. I don't understand if we don't take value, or we don't see the importance of the working conditions. Your environment affects you mentally.
Exactly.
if it's not clean or however it is, it affects you. So if you're
Absolutely.
asking these people to go above and beyond and working under these conditions, it's gonna affect them.
That's so true. And when you think, Lafaine, of their counterparts overseas,
That's what he
people
said.
yes, people who do jobs like that, people who
They're valued.
Oh Lord, to be a garbage collector in a developed country is work that actually pays.
Yes, because it's an essential service.
Because it is an essential service, and there's just no shame attached to any of that.
Any of it.
In fact, people still want to be firefighters in those spaces. You remember when we were little children, every other little boy did want to be a firefighter. Not so much.
Yeah, exactly. I had a cousin who was a firefighter, and it was a joy for me when me could have go over the fire station and look feel, man. And see them sing down on the pole.
Oh,
and
that was the moment.
yes. So it looked like a very,
That swing no off a pole.
exciting job.
Yes, it is exciting, but as you said, it's dangerous.
Risky.
Very dangerous.
Yes.
And here is somebody who is saying, wow, when somebody confronts you and says, I am not asking for more.
Right.
I am asking for better
Working
conditions.
conditions. Treat us better.
And then somebody who thinks he has to, they're going to make an evaluation. I'm sure they're going to evaluate his mental health.
Definitely.
They will.
Definitely.
They will. But, yeah, and I'm sure he's quite fine. I'm quite fine, no matter what the reports say. That thing not do him.
Probably just look at the press because,
Yes.
not having been on the job from me and probably just fed up all around about the situation. But
And if
outside
they
of that-
test anyone away with the same
Listen,
test, I see a result of the code.
listen.
Whatever it is,
stressed
anyone
out
away.
and frustrated all
Same so.
around.
Same so. So if a number 4, I did something for say, well, did something, well, we are number 4.
All away. That's what people are saying, that if he's a firefighter and he felt as though he had to go to these extreme measures to get attention, imagine the average person just a walk up and down who...
There you go. Lafaine, that's always where my mind goes. If it's you and you're getting a meager salary, you can imagine them they will not get nothing.
Exactly. And that is what people were saying, on social media. One person said, my respect goes out to this man because only by extreme measures can you get a listening ear in this country. A lot of people will criticize and make mockery of his protest, but then a lot of us are so weak and afraid to stand up for the right thing. Go and do it, Mr. Fireman. So you get them attention there.
Same so. Same way, I agree 100%.
And he did get the nation's attention.
Whether him have issues or
Yeah.
not, we salute him for bravery.
Exactly.
Because the whole of we have issues, whether we want to face it or not, but it's where you take your issues and do.
Mm-hmm.
So me like where you take for your issues
Yeah.
do.
He could have, gone the violent route or something else, but this is what he
Yes.
chose to do, and
Exactly.
he
And
got
God
the
forbid he
attention.
could have jumped off the roof.
Exactly.
But he didn't.
Exactly.
So God give God thanks.
Yeah.
So that's it. I'm
Yeah.
sure many people have thoughts on that, and
Yes.
sometimes they tend to want to give their thoughts after we don't talk. But not a worry. So if that happens, love, we're up and running.
Yes,
all right?
definitely.
Okay, all right. So thank you very much, and thanks for being part of our conversation as we untangle the trending, and it happens every Thursday morning right here on Untengle with myself and Untengle producer Lafaine Wiggan. So you heard our conversation today, and if you have something very brief to contribute, you can just give us a call and we will gladly listen to your thoughts. All right,
Right.
music. So we have live on Zoom our guest, and our guest is Shaunice Dean. Want to say good morning, Shaunice. I don't see you, but morning. Okay, I think I seen you now. You hearing me? Are you hearing me? I seen you. Are you hearing me? I'm not hearing you. Say something, make me see if we're hearing you.
I'm talking.
Yes,
Not
I'm
hearing.
hearing. No, I hear you now.
Okay. All right.
Welcome to the bridge, 99 FM.
Thank you for having me.
All right. So before we get into, the conversation of the day, tell us a little bit about Shaunice, about your interests, your childhood, your dreams, that kind of thing. We can better know you before we start.
Sure. I'm Shaunice Dean. As you know, I'm 30 years old. I'm a mother of a 10-year-old boy. My childhood was pretty normal. Grew up with a sister, an older sister. My mom went to school, and just lived a pretty a pretty normal life, no issues, like having fun, going, getting my education, no health issues.
Okay.
Um, yeah.
And what were your dreams? What did you always, want to pursue? What career, if any?
At first, I wanted to be a flight attendant, but then I discovered that I'm afraid of heights and the areas. So that went through the door. And then I had an interest in business. So I actually started university, but I dropped out due to some personal reasons. And after that, I've just been working, well, up until 2020. After that, I haven't been working because of my current situation. My dreams now have changed because of this situation now. So I'm just trying to navigate life living with cancer.
All right.
Yeah.
So you have a 10-year-old son. What's his name? And tell us a little bit about him.
His name is Ajante Dean Briscoe. He is an amazing child. I mean, he give me trouble sometimes, but apart from that, so
Well, good.
amazing. He's living a pretty good life filled with
Nice.
love and great support. He's now in
Beautiful.
grade 5. Yeah.
That's wonderful. What's his name? Ojante?
Yes.
Wow, that's a beautiful name. All right, and I know that all of your inspiration, or most of your inspiration, to keep moving on, to keep overcoming, is coming from Ojante.
Definitely. Yes.
All right. Okay, so let us talk about colon cancer. And again, for those who are listening, March is Colon Cancer Awareness Month. So, my question to you would be, did you have any symptoms before you were diagnosed?
Yes. So my symptoms initially started in 2019. Um, they included nausea, vomiting, loss of appetite, weight loss, severe abdominal pain, change in bowel movements, and other persons experienced blood in their stool, but that was not a symptom of mine.
Okay, so did that prompt you to go to the doctor?
Yes. So after having these symptoms for probably a few weeks, probably 2 weeks or so, I went to a private doctor because I wasn't aware of what was happening with me. And I was put on, some antibiotics and some other medication that I don't remember. And the symptoms, they went away for a while, probably a few months, and then they came back. And this continued to happen over, well, almost a year, right? Um, they referred me to do a test called a barium meal, and it showed that I had GERD, gastrointestinal reflux disease, which is basically chronic acid reflux. That was now being treated for that. Um, Initially, I was not aware of the severity of the colon cancer issue in my family. It wasn't until like months after having these symptoms that I found out that I actually had a strong family history of colon cancer in both sides of my family.
Wow.
Um, yeah. So I started to go to the public hospital to get further help, and I made a few doctors aware, like on each visit, I made a few doctors aware of the symptoms that I was experiencing and also the fact that there was colon cancer in my family.
So it
And I was,
wasn't really the doctors who pointed out that to you. It was actually you who pointed that way to them.
yes, yes.
Wow. That was wise and brave.
Yes.
Commend you for that.
So I told him about the family history, and I was told that I was too young to be screened, which
Wow.
screening would include me getting a colonoscopy. So I was too young, and so I wasn't allowed to do the test. And I kept going back for a while because the symptoms would get worse each time.
Wow.
And it wasn't until August 2020 when something drastic happened. The pain was out of this world, and it literally felt like something had burst inside of my abdomen. So I went ahead and I got an ultrasound done privately, and it showed that there was a bowel obstruction. So I took that ultrasound result, went to the hospital with it, and I told them that listen, doctor, something feel like it burst in my belly. And they did an x-ray that night and it actually showed that I had a mass that ruptured inside of my abdomen. So that's where it all began.
Wow, what a journey. And just the information that you're giving us tells us how important it is if you can afford it, because these tests are very expensive, to
Yes,
get a
they are.
second opinion, because when one doctor tell you something, you really can't take that as gospel,
True. And the thing is, I actually went to a second hospital
Mm-hmm.
and I was told the same thing. I was too young to be screened.
Even with all the obvious symptoms
Yes, and the family history.
and the family history. Oh my God. Wow. Okay. So we're really talking to a fighter.
Yes.
We're talking to a fighter, because it was you who actually diagnosed your own self, and it happens to you. You were right.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. Anyway, your crown need for straighten and don't lean up again. Anyway, okay, so you were finally diagnosed at stage two.
Right. So I was actually diagnosed after doing a surgery. So the mass had ruptured, which led them to doing a surgery called a left hemicolectomy, which is where they removed a part of my colon, the damaged part of my colon, and they sent it to a lab to be tested. So I did this surgery in September 2020, and I got the result back a month after that. So when I went in for my appointment, that was when I found out that it was stage two cancer. But honestly, I wasn't even too surprised because I had already, was thinking that. I remember when I was going to the hospital before the surgery, I kept telling them, doctors, this is not acid reflux. This is either colon cancer, Crohn's disease, or ulcerative colitis, IBD, one of those illnesses. And I really think it's colon cancer because that's what makes most sense seeing my family history. But yeah, they did
You know
nothing.
something though, Shanice, I think one of our greatest weapons right now is being able to actually Google and get information for ourselves. Because
Right.
sometimes that puts us on a clearer path.
And that is why I was able to tell them, listen, this is what I think it is, because I was Googling my symptoms and then with the knowledge of the family history, I'm like, this makes sense.
Okay, so
But
take us to after the surgery, and you started getting chemotherapy, right?
yes. So after the surgery, I started chemo in December of 2020 up until April 2021. Chemo was awful. It affected me physically and emotionally. I was on two types of chemotherapy at the time, the pills plus the IV, that's the drip. Um, it caused a lot of physical pain, depression, nausea, weight loss, chemo brain, which is like temporary, like memory loss, all of those stuff. I actually lost my hair too, but it was before chemo, so that was not a side effect of the first chemotherapy. Um, After chemotherapy, I continued to go to the doctor and, I did my regular scans every 3 months and stuff like that. So by summer 2021, I did my scan and I also did a colonoscopy and it showed that, there were still polyps remaining after my surgery. But then the second colonoscopy by summer 2021 showed that they were gone and the CT scan showed that I didn't have any spread to any other organ. So I was now at the point where I was relieved and ready to celebrate. But then, a few months after that, December 2021, I had to do another CT scan, and unfortunately, it showed that there was something inside of my liver.
So it started to spread.
Yes.
Okay.
So December, it showed that something was in my liver, um, and I was supposed to get a liver biopsy done. That was not done until March 2022. So again, you see the timeline, December to March.
So is there
Uh,
a reason why the timelines are so long
all I can say is the healthcare system sucks.
in
And
Jamaica?
don't advocate for yourself,
Yes.
I don't
That's
know
it,
what's gonna happen.
Shawnee's, there is just no way you can tell your story truthfully without it highlighting how poor our health system is. Because,
It
first
really
of all, you were denied a test because of your age when all the symptoms and information pointed to what you suspected it to be. You were
right.
denied that.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
and this is a case where we are expecting doctors to actually tell us what it is or help to guide us along that way anyway. So there's no way we can have a conversation like this without saying that because that's the
Yes.
truth.
And I'm not
Okay.
trying to bash the healthcare in general because they are like doctors at the hospitals or different facilities who actually care and want to help. But on a
Right.
whole, the
Right.
system
The
needs to be
system.
fixed.
The system.
Yes,
I hear you.
yes.
All right. So you're at this point here now you're seeking what is called an innovative cancer treatment in the US. How far along are you towards achieving that treatment?
So I'm basically back at square one. So sometime last year before my second surgery, I started to, do some research on the different hospitals overseas because I know that in the long run, Jamaica is not going to be able to help me. Uh, the system have failed me more than once. And again, if I haven't been advocating for myself, I would be in a worse position.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I reached out to a specific hospital, sorry, and the estimate, the cost, it was crazy. They were saying 60,000 US deposits. I have no insurance. That included surgery and possible treatment. And I knew that I wasn't gonna be able to raise that money in a short period of time, and I was against time because cancer no wait for nobody. It's something that spreads from one stage to another stage in no time. And at this point, it was already stage four. It moved from stage two to stage four in months. So I had to make the decision if I wanted to do my second surgery here in Jamaica or try and raise that money and go overseas. And the best decision at the time was to do my surgery out here, and I'm glad I did. I did my second surgery in September of last year. So now I want to start reaching out back to hospitals to see if they have any treatment plans available.
So
I'm
how have you
open
been
to,
since the second surgery?
pardon?
How have you been since the second surgery?
Um, Now I can say that I'm doing good. I
Very
did
good.
my second surgery in September of last year.
Mm-hmm.
Recovery was very rough, mentally and physically. But no, I'm fine. For the second surgery, they removed the remainder of my colon, so I'm now living with no colon. They also removed a part of my rectum, parts of my liver, and two phyllodes tumors from my breast. So those breast tumors weren't actually cancerous, and I thank God for that.
So they removed them
Yeah,
before they probably became cancerous.
right. Yes.
You look, can I just say though, Shanice, you look in so beautiful. I don't know how you maintain this
Thank you.
beauty with all that you're
Thank
going through. But you're
Boy,
looking
I just got
gorgeous.
I just got honestly.
I
Yeah.
hear you. So in terms of this alternative, or should I say, innovative cancer treatment, is it still a possibility?
So I am not sure right now. I'm gonna have to reach out to these hospitals and give them the updated tests that have been done,
Yes.
and then do a consultation with them online and see where it goes from there. So now waiting on I'm actually now waiting on my doctors here locally to reach out to me for another appointment, hopefully by next week or the week after, to tell me if I'm able to try chemotherapy for a third time. Because I did a CT scan in January and it actually shows that I have one tumor remaining in my liver, unfortunately. But the good news, so the bad news is that there is a tumor left, but the good news is that it is very small, I think 1 centimeter, which is very small, and there are no further spreads.
But you don't want to take any check at all. You want
Right,
to,
which is why
yes.
they're now discussing if chemotherapy is gonna be an option again. But it's kind of tricky right now because I did chemo twice before and chemotherapy didn't work. So with the second chemotherapy, the tumors actually grew while
Ooh,
on treatment, so I had to stop.
wow. Look
Yeah,
here, Shanice, me hear you talk about God, you know. And make I tell you something, right? You know, he's our cheapest and most potent physician.
I agree.
Because and say, and right that's right there, you know, nothing else not ever savor right now, you know. So keep
So
your
true.
mind positive and keep your mind spiritual and hopeful.
Yes, yes, for sure.
All right. So let me ask you this though, just curious. On
Sure.
your visits to any of these doctors throughout all these stages, did any of these doctors ever recommend a holistic approach to life, what you eat or how you think?
No, no, no. I've tried that on my own. I actually saw a naturopathic doctor once, and I did that on my own. I remember when I just started going to the hospital for visits, right? Clinic visits after my diagnosis. I asked a specific doctor if they could like refer me to a dietitian at the hospital. So I'm going to the public hospital because I really cannot afford private healthcare with this cancer
Exactly.
diagnosis. So I asked the doctor about the dietitian, and he's like, "Oh no, you don't need to go. You can eat anything."
I hear you. I hear you. That's why
So
I asked. That's why
yeah,
I asked. And your research shows you that's not true.
right,
Good.
right.
Wonderful. Good girl. All right. So you found new purpose in documenting and sharing your journey on social media. Let's talk about that.
Yes. Um. So it actually started with YouTube, and I decided to do that 2 months after my diagnosis because when I just got diagnosed, I actually didn't tell anybody about it apart from my closest family and friends, like my closest family and friends. And I didn't want to hide anymore because it felt like such a burden. So I lost a lot of weight, I lost my hair, and there were so many other changes. And persons would see me and ask, oh, you're losing so much weight, where your hair gone, and stuff like that. And I would tell them, some dumb excuses like, oh, my hair fell off because it's damaged, or I'm on a diet, stuff like that, because I just wasn't ready to talk about it, or I didn't expect to talk about it any at all. But then, as I said, my spirit just felt heavy. So I decided to just put it out there because I didn't want anybody assuming, anything wrong. Sorry. So I put it out there on YouTube, and then my son was actually on TikTok and he asked me to do a video with him. And then after doing that first video, I enjoyed it. So I continued, and it just became kind of therapeutic for me. Yeah, someone just take over TikTok and just do my thing
You
there.
know,
And
the
I'm like,
amount of things that you are learning on your own is amazing. Somebody just texted me a while ago and says, Mama, who the warrior there? Because you really are. Because I'm sure you are now learning on your own the power of journaling and how that frees a lot
oh,
of this. Let's talk.
yes. So I'm big on journaling right now. I have a lot of books that I'm writing into. I journal for myself as well as my son. Um, this process of me journaling is so therapeutic. Sometimes I go back and read it, and I see where I'm coming from, and then I'm able to be proud of myself and get a little bit more hope because I'm like, okay, I've been through so much, so it means anything else that come my way, I can go through it too.
Oh my,
And
bless
also
you.
journal for my son so that he can see that I've done,
Yes,
great things. I've put up a good fight. So if
yes.
anything should ever happen to him, come his way, he's able to do the same and more.
Oh, bless you.
Oh,
Can
yes.
I just advise you, Shanice, to continue to investigate a holistic approach? It's the cheapest way because it's in your hands. You can determine what you're going to eat and why you're not eating that. just find out as much as you can, because in cases like this and in the world right now, information is power. So find
Yes,
out
yes.
more about how you're going to eat, how you're going to
Ye-
breathe, how you're going to take care of yourself, even if it means doing it alone. So,
Yes.
so your social media information now, where can we be part of your journaling? Where can we find you?
I'm on YouTube and Instagram at naturally Shawnee Shauni, and TikTok it is Sean John Shaunjaun. Yes, that is it.
Beautiful. Is there anything else that we've not spoken about that you'd like to share with those
Yes.
listening?
Yes, I would also like to share that it is very important for us to know our family history, because I do have a family history of colon cancer, as I said, as well as a genetic disorder. And the genetic disorder that I have is called familial adenomatous polyposis. The shortening is FAP, and it basically causes hundreds or thousands of polyps to grow inside of the intestine, which is more than likely to become cancerous. So that was the thing that put me at even a higher risk to get colon cancer. So if I had known this information from a younger age,
Yes.
I would have been
Yes.
able to take, preventative measures. So now I
Yes.
know about this. I'm able to take the right steps with my son, getting him screened at an early age, doing the genetic test and stuff like that.
Right. And I'm
Mhm.
just being told that there's a GoFund. Before I even mention that, though,
Yes, yes,
before I
yes,
mention that, Shanice, you would have also learned earlier how to eat.
yes,
How to
yes,
eat.
so true. Because
That
I didn't have the healthiest diet, and I know that plays a part too.
right.
So like with
Because
my son now,
yes,
I I'm very open about my journey with him.
right.
Um, so he's able to start taking better care of himself, and I can take better care of him as well. So like now he's like, Mommy, I don't want a snacks to carry to school and I don't want a juice. So for his breaks, it's only fruit dishes, lunch, it's only salads,
Good
and
for
then he
him.
eats whatever I cook when he gets home. So he has started his own little healthy journey, and I'm very proud of him for that.
I can imagine. He gets that obviously from you because him see you doing that. Bless you, the girl. So,
Yes.
your GoFundMe account, you have one?
Yes, I do. I don't know how I forgot about that. If anybody wants to support me, you can just go on gofundme.com and put in my name, Shaunice Dean. It's ShauniceDean, and I would appreciate all the support.
All right. Our producer just texted me a while ago to remind me, so I'm sure she has the information, and I am going to remind our listeners about it. Continue to be
Thank you.
wise. You're a
Thank you
queen.
so
Continue
much.
to be a brilliant, wise, beautiful queen.
Thank
Most
you.
and
Oh,
and
and can I also say I'm keeping a cake sale next week, Friday. Um, and my number is 328-0310 for anybody who wants to support.
right.
And next month, then my goal is to actually have my merch out. So I'm gonna be doing some shirts. This
Excellent.
isn't my shirt. I ordered
What it
this shirt
says?
on
Oh,
Amazon. But I'm gonna be having my own designs and stuff hopefully by next month then. And I'm
nice.
putting it out there from now. I'm working on my book. I have a long way to go, a lot of writing to do. But I'm putting it out there because I want some pressure on myself so I can reach my deadline. So I
I
can look
love
out.
that. Nobody eat too much of the cake or the cake sale, you know.
No, I'm actually going by this vegan place the day before to get three slices of cake for myself so I can munch on that.
I love that.
Because if I don't do
And
that,
one
I'm
slice
going
for
to be,
Ojante.
yes.
All right, sis. So proud of you. Continue to
Thank you
be
so
that
much.
warrior. That spirit is going to take you places. You go,
Thank you.
girl.
Thank
And
you.
God bless you.
God bless you too, and thank you for having me.
Most welcome. Wow. I mean, all listeners are like, who is this fighter? What a fighter. A fighter indeed, and a beautiful one at that. Can you
Thank
imagine?
you.
So, we just had a conversation with Shaunice Dean. One of our listeners wanted to know how old she is. She's a 30-year-old Jamaican mother of a 10-year-old son, and she just told us his name is Ojante, and she is a fighter. So she's fighting colon cancer right now, and she's doing a lot of it by her own wisdom and her own guidance. I want to remind our listeners that March is Colon Cancer Awareness Month, and also to remind our listeners, my producer just sent me this, and it's help Shanika beat metastatic colon cancer, and I know that we're going to put it up on oh, that's so beautiful. So I know my producer will share this information with our listeners at some point. Thanks again. We're going to take a break. So we're ready for New York. Oh, New York, you're ready for us? We're ready for you. Good afternoon, New York.
Good afternoon, Mama Kelly. Always ready, always waiting.
Born ready.
Always looking forward. Yeah, man.
All right, nice, wonderful.
You know, I kicked off the show with a song called Beautiful Day by Jermaine Edwards. One of those songs that is
I know
actually
that big tune.
big tune. Viral
Sweet
all over social
tune.
media.
Yeah, man.
You know, earlier this week, we started off the week with some snow and some rain, but it's actually very, very wonderful today, and we're looking forward to some 50s for the rest of the week. So, beautiful day.
Nice. Well,
Yeah,
you
man.
know, beautiful day depends on the kind of weather. So I just got a text a while ago that say rain a tear down Kingston now. But you see, so you see,
reaching
in
up.
my neck of the woods. No, it's been raining since probably yesterday in my neck of the woods. But then
Okay.
that's if you know the first sign of rain yesterday morning that me start smell because it's my kind of weather that.
Right.
So it really depends on what's your kind of weather.
Well, anytime I feel good about going outside, Mama Kelly, that is my kind of weather. You know, we have to go outside no matter what kind of weather it is, but you know,
Yeah.
just feeling comfortable out there. You know,
Yes.
I don't like when it's too cold. I don't like when it's too hot.
Right.
You know, so that's the perfect weather for me. But it's a
That's
beautiful day
neater.
nonetheless. We have
Nice.
life and we give thanks.
Nice, beautiful. So
Yeah, man.
New York is feeling blessed. I just played that one from from Junior Gang and what's his name again? Wizkid. Yeah.
Oh, big
Right.
tune as well.
Yeah.
Speaking of Junior Gang, want to send a belated birthday shout out going out to Joe Mercer, whose birthday was earlier this week, Mama Kelly. So,
Yeah.
you know, may continue to rest in power. Big up to all the Benjamins out there of the 12 tribes of Israel, and to all Pisces who are celebrating in this month of March.
You know who is one of those who had a birthday recently? Or one of our directors, Mr. Clyde Mackenzie, had a birthday on the 15th. Today's the 16th. Day before yesterday was his birthday. So happy belated birthday,
Happy
Brother
belated
Clyde.
to you. Yeah, man. Happy belated, Brother Clyde. Bless up yourself. For real.
Is Louis back in New York? Because I know he was
Yes.
outside.
Yes, he is. He's back. He's actually in the studios right now as well. He's in the
Oh,
office.
Louis,
He's in
Louis.
the
Good
office.
afternoon.
So big respect to Mr. Louis Grant. Always
right.
working, always moving about behind the scenes, getting things done, as every one of the members of Irie Jam Radio does, and the Bridge 99 FM. You know, we have to make the wheels turn, Mama Kelly.
Yes, definitely.
Keep it
And
moving.
we have a really great team, as we do too here on the bridge. So we give thanks for that, you know?
Yeah, man. Sure indeed.
Mm-hmm.
Tomorrow is St. Patrick's Day. That's going to be celebrated worldwide. You know, it's an Irish celebration of, you know, for people of Irish heritage. And it observes the death of St. Patrick, the patron of Ireland. And they do that by celebrating the music, special foods, drinking, and of course wearing a whole heap of green.
What a whole heap of green. Oh my goodness. They couldn't try that out here, you know. They run them dog.
You know what that means, Mama?
Oh my God.
We all know what that green means.
We know what that
you know?
means.
Yeah, yeah.
But can I tell you something though? As you're talking a while ago, and I'm thinking to myself, oh, it's St. Patrick's Day and celebrating the Irish. Obviously, we don't celebrate it our side of town because we are, you know, majority
Yes.
black people. But it's just have you ever heard from somebody who has taken a DNA test to find out about their ancestry or the ancestor of origin?
Not directly, Mama Kelly, but I've seen people saying that it actually works for them, and they have found people who turning out not looking anything like them who them say them ancestors. So
That's why I ask you.
yeah,
Because there's a friend of mine who I always thought was, well, her ancestry is partly African because her father is very, very dark, and she always figured that, you know, da 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 da. But then when she did one of those tests and found out that she was 20 something percent European,
Wow.
oh, that figure, so. And she had to take a deeper dive because she very, very dark skinned with very straight features. So we just figure, you know, we work out everybody ancestry, you know, we just say, oh, he mix with cool. Oh, it's with Indian. You understand me?
Well.
Indian no in the heart. None. Zero. Zero.
Well, if we look back at history, you know, Mama Kelly, and go back even further, you know, say, we did control Europe at one point.
Well, true.
The Moors.
I love that. The Moors, I love that. I love how you put that.
Yeah, we did control the place there at one point. So maybe there's some truth to it. Maybe whoever came up not looking like her is not actually her ancestors, but our people.
True.
Definitely did.
Good point.
Control
But then,
Europe.
when you look at our unfortunate history too, when you look at that journey that you always are talking about, that journey where you say we could have come up as mermaid because so much away. No, we probably could have come up as mermaid. But anyway, when you look at that history too, and our unfortunate past with colonialism and with English and the Spanish and
Yes.
oh, God bless where you go find when you take a DNA test. When we take a DNA. There's a friend of mine who she take a DNA test now. Light skin Jamaican. Not light skin meaning brown skin. We are talking about mixed looking Jamaican. So she always figure now say the part of the hair were curly, a black. Trust me. Well, here what to she know. She got take a test. Let me tell you something. You see when my girl come out of the test, not even 1% black. She cried.
Wow.
You know, that's not bad. That's a weep.
You know, weeping and mourning.
Weeping and mourning, you know, man. Because when she stand up for the cause over the years, no, but we have to learn to stand up for the cause same way. Because you're humanitarian.
Yes. you know, I also on social media, Mama Kelly, I saw where a young girl did a recent study with the same DNA ancestry thing, and she did it on former President Barack Obama.
Yeah.
It was she might have been around 14, 15 years old. And she found out, and it's all I didn't even save the page that I saw it on, but she found it out that Barack Obama, not knowing how true this is, I'm just relaying what her findings were.
Yeah.
They're saying that Barack Obama was related to all the presidents of the United States.
I am not
And that
surprised.
they're family, cousins, and distant relatives, and all of these things. So, you know, and it was actually on a news platform that, you know, it was reporting
Not
it.
surprised.
I didn't save the page. I wish I did. I was just scrolling when I saw it, and you know, it was a
The
news.
only one I probably would not believe is Trump. Me not think him a Trump or family. No, between me and you. Me not think so.
Wow.
It look like a totally different breed.
A different blood or something.
But the rest of them make me believe that because don't matter feel like say, as you probably know because you lived it, you feel like say any Joe from the 20s down the corner at
And
the
that's-
7-Eleven can come up and say I'm gonna be president. In
And
what
that's-
world?
And that's what I've always said, Mama Kelly. You know that you know, it's a lineage. You know, these families and people in positions who, you know, like a royal family, and you know, it's always coming down from relatives to relatives. They're not gonna go outside the bloodline. You know, and a lot of people don't know that. That's actually how a lot of things work in this world.
That's right. That's so true. And speaking of bloodline and how a lot of things work in this world, we see where the diaspora members petitioning the court to have the police commissioner here in Jamaica removed because they're wondering if it's another bloodline situation because he not do nothing, so they want him to be removed because I'm suggesting me not gonna say them but them
said
suggesting they're asking what him there for.
So you said people from outside of Jamaica, or the people in Jamaica, you're saying? Just
The
overall
diaspora.
a petition at the diaspora,
It's,
okay.
let me
Okay.
read little bit of it. It says record producer Wayne Brown and close to 600 members of the diaspora in the UK, US and Canada have filed a claim in the Supreme Court, effectively calling for the removal of the Commissioner of Police Major General Anthony Anderson in the interest of the public. Brown is seeking leave to file for a judicial review of the process employed by the Police Service Commission to justify keeping Anderson as Commissioner of Police. Basically, that is what it's all about.
So what is it that he's not doing?
What is it that he is not doing?
Yeah,
you
that
know,
what them
crime.
want.
You can't ask a question like that, Beau-regard.
Yeah, and that me I says, him not do him job then, Mama Kelly.
Crime in Jamaica is at an all-time high. We never know said could I even hire more it high there already. Are you asking us why they're doing this?
Yeah, get
The whole of we would have liked to know is why him there and can't come out.
Let me take back that question there, Mama Kelly.
Please.
Yeah, let me take back that question there.
By Jamaica, people listening from Jamaica
I
would
should
have
have
wondered
asked what is it where them want him to do? And
what
then
is
know
it
what
that them want him to do?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah, that's a good question. But it's not even say what is it that them want him to do. But we just not hear
He's
nothing.
not just
You see,
doing his job.
You see, if we didn't know, But you know, you can be you can. Yeah, false. Actually, you better do your job. But watch this now. We don't hear nothing. And I like say you're mobilizing the people them for do something and for make we do something. And this is what your findings are, and this is what you're working on. And we want to hear something.
And that's what I've always said also, Mama Kelly. Jamaica, sometimes it doesn't seem as if we follow up on things that we report on or bring into the public space. You know, you'll hear about something happen, but you never hear the outcome, whether these persons were caught or if there was a solution to the situation. We just see more and more news keeps coming up, more and more issues keep coming out, and you know, there's never a final chapter on a particular subject, or you know, the public doesn't get that closure to a lot of things in Jamaica sometimes.
Certainly not your average member of the public. If it's somebody that everybody know, or if it's one of them, sure, certainly we will follow it through to the last moment. But the rest of it, us not so much. I mean, let me tell you something. You see, the police officers here in Jamaica, when you consider the pay where them a get, and when you consider the kind of what them up against. Every now and then, you know, you still get breakthrough. But, you know, you kind of wonder if it connected to the police commissioner, if it's just hard-working police officers out there just doing what them getting paid to do. Because we don't hear much from these people at all. Or the minister of justice. You know, look here, there was a time, you see, when politicians talk, them talk for mobilize the people. Even if I lie, them I tell. Tell me a lie. Come on TV and tell me, or drive wrong in a GIS vehicle, whatever avenue you want to use. And let us feel as though you're not warm in bench.
Give us something to look forward to.
Yes. Give us something to work towards. Give us a you know, something to hold on to. Give us something that we can be active in. Give us something to participate in, to be part of the solution and not the problem. But it's pure bench warming a go on. Pure bench warming going on. Yeah, right. And the results are obvious. It could more obvious. And like say, look how hard the people them working, and look how them bring down crime, and look how hard then the crime in Jamaica here are.
I wish we could do that for some politicians here in the United States. You know, just put up a petition when we have had enough. You know, and get rid of some of them. Because some of them been in Congress and Senate and for decades. You know, and there's been no change, and every election come around, they get back their seats and they go and they do the same thing until the next election come around, and they get back them seat, and they're sitting there for decades, Mama Kelly. And they have done nothing to, you know, make some changes to better some of the people in this country. Particularly a lot of times us, you know.
Yeah, black people particularly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it seems as though it's the way of the world. It's like there was a time when you actually thought that you were electing politicians to take care of business. Now we know whose business. We know now. It's obvious whose business because it's not ours. So, it is clear that there's a totally different mandate out there. And it's as though them in a collusion because, obvious them in a collusion.
It's 121, Mama Kelly, and our producer is saying that we have to take a break. But when we come back, Mama Kelly, there's some more things I want to discuss. There was this fireman who was on top of the building in halfway
We
tree.
talk about him today.
We want to talk about that. And also, I have a question. Why is Jamaica importing marijuana?
We talk about that again too.
All right. We'll soon come and
right.
tangle that. And we are connected with the Queen Mother, Mama Elise Kelly, on the Bridge 99 FM. We're there and we are untangle some things. Mama Kelly.
No, you say we there untangle some things. Yes, me dear sir. So which one you want to start with, the herb?
Yeah, me could talk
So
about
we are
herb,
import
man.
herb from Canada.
Yeah. Oh, no.
At the same people, we just talk about, if you go ask, remember we were just talking about innovative leadership and you know, rallying the masses to a cause that we're working with for consensus. Them the days they're done. Right now we are import herb. And that's how we reach
And
from
imagine-
Canada.
Imagine the whole world I look to Jamaica and I say Jamaica have the best weed on the planet, Mama Kelly. Ganja, marijuana, whatever name you might want to call it. The whole world knows Jamaica has popularized marijuana through our music, through our icons, just talking about it and letting the world know. And now, years later, decades later, the world is now coming to see the importance and the benefits of marijuana use. Now, not everybody uses marijuana, Mama Kelly, to each his own, but there are some benefits to it. And we have to look back at what went on before the legalization, how many youths were criminalized, how many youths were sent to jail, how many people did have to struggle, run from police, do all kind of things.
How many farmers were marginalized, people burned down them herb, flatter ground, and them always had to be running from police.
Police in helicopter, a search of marijuana. So now that we see that they need the use of marijuana, Mama Kelly, why not use the weed that's in Jamaica and what's the word I'm looking? Distribute it to the places that you need it distributed.
We don't have that. That's the point where make. I mean, we need to really make our leaders be accountable, because as long as we don't do it, this will go on, you know. Because Canada has legalized marijuana. Jamaica don't legalize marijuana, you know. Jamaica decriminalized marijuana in portions. So instead of legalizing marijuana here in Jamaica, them go to Canada where them legalize it over there so and import it over here so. Now tell me if a bright people around this place, you know, are what?
That not
Tell
sound
me.
too bright to me, Mama Kelly.
Come
it's
on,
not legal
man.
there, but you import it from somewhere else.
But, somewhere where it's legal. It's not legal here. It has been decriminalized. But it is not legal. You can still be charged for marijuana here in Jamaica.
So shouldn't it be illegal to also bring it into the country then? No
Not if
matter
a
who?
deal make with your not if a deal make. Not if a deal make. You know, the one you obvious and in our face. And trust me, if we can get sued for this, it means that we can get sued for just talk. Because, you know, we had a discussion about it on the program, and it is just as ridiculous as politicians or somebody saying to us with a big smile on them face, say them going to import some teachers from Czechoslovakia to teach Jamaican children patois. And
That is a joke, right, Mama?
of course, it must be a big joke, that not funny, and think that them really did something wonderful. You understand? And when the people them start to protest now, you know what them doing? Them looking into the matter. So they're looking into the matter. And the person who had me, don't remember which part him had, but producer will remind me. It was a police officer, him had that's something that looking into the matter. Yeah, man. So
You know, when you think of marijuana, Mama Kelly, and you hear about marijuana, you know it's something. I mean, everybody, a lot of people, a lot of countries have products that are exclusive to that country. If you understand what I'm saying, Mama, when you think of
Yes.
certain things, you say, okay, it came from this place.
right.
That place is known for this. Jamaica
Right.
known for our music and our weed and our food.
And we sprinters.
And our runners, our athletes.
It's just like coming from somebody who never even come nowhere near win no race international. Them carrying down if we go teach. We know we not tap win goal. How we win goal? What that's a disgrace. And you know, if we are too, I don't know what is the docile, I don't know where we're under, so but if whatever it is that we can't see it, and well, this time they protested, but you see that 9 days something there is like them have under 9-day science, which part them giving 9 days if we forgot about where we really are fight for.
So there was a protest about this already?
Of course.
Okay.
There must
I
have been
did
a
not know
protest, and from particularly from the farming community. Can you
Yes.
imagine ganja farmers hearing news like this? So them are going to import where them best at from Canada, when them still can't even plant certain portion of herb legally without a license. Where's a farmer police commissioner go have to give them?
And I look at all the things that could happen for the country if they decided to, you know, invest in the marijuana that's already in Jamaica. You know, it would provide jobs, it would help the economy. A whole lot of things would have gone, Mama Kelly. Enough things would have gone.
It is
people
obvious
have been
that
sending their kids to school in this manner for decades, and you know, it can help out even further.
you know
Just
it
to
was
be honest.
predicted. You know, you see from them start the process of legalization. You can almost predict so them starting the process of taking it out of the people's hands, because that's their modus operandi. And we need to stop you know, we had a discussion and we are saying the people who deal with herb, this is something I feel very passionate about. The people who deal with herb, whether they use it for medicinal purposes or otherwise personal purposes, really need to boycott any herb that come from anywhere else except Jamaica. And we need to be proactive. We need to ask our farmers or our pharmacists now where this come from. And if it come from somewhere other than where it's supposed to come from, which is Jamaica, we need to boycott that. And we need to really intentionally support the farmers, ganja farmers here in Jamaica.
You know, one of the things when they legalized marijuana here in New York City, Mama Kelly, was the fact that they said, you know, some of the people who were affected by it not being legal before and they were arrested and all of those things, they were going to drop all of those charges from their records and also give them the opportunity to become, you know, dispensary owners and things of that nature. So, you know, that was a good thing here in New York, Connecticut and New Jersey when they decided to legalize marijuana in the past 2 years.
I remember you spoke about it. We spoke
Yes.
about it right here on the Global Connection. So I remember.
So a lot of people who has records from being arrested for that, you know, they're going to wipe that from their records. So that's
That's
a
the
good thing.
action of people who actually have people at heart. It is very clear what these so-called leaders are up to. Them now have as much as they were elected to lead. It is obvious that the people not depend for their mandate, not all. When you do something like this, how can you convince the people that they were on your mind when you struck a deal like this? The people were on your mind when you struck a deal like that? Never.
No.
Never.
And it's something that we also said last week when we spoke, you know, is that, you know, the government sometimes they tend to help people who are in poverty, but not trying to help them out of it. You know, and this is one way to help a lot of Jamaicans out of poverty.
You know, I remember there was a time when we were advocating to have fresh blood in politics. Well, we have fresh blood in politics. What we need now is a different mindset, because it don't make no sense you have fresh blood with the same mindset. What we need are critical thinkers who are really working on behalf of the people. Sometimes I wonder if it's not too late for that. I really genuinely wonder when I look at even leadership around the world. It's as though it's a big international business, you know.
Yeah, man.
And the people they must sell.
True indeed. Maybe we need, as you said, different leadership, Mama Kelly. Maybe we need a woman again to run the country.
Yeah, but if she have the same mindset, or if she have one little man in a few years I tell her what to do, it not go, you understand me? It not go work.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, we really need some people who are genuine leaders, first of all, have a history of leadership, Because some people just have a history of taking orders, and sometimes at them, yeah. So somebody, even if it's a man, our next man in a film is, I tell him what to do.
I have a solution, Mama Kelly.
Yeah.
Mama Kelly for Prime Minister.
Me don't want them to work there. Look here, you take this thing for joke. Because the first thing is that the first thing for them, the rest of them mandate. Oh, you get rid of mama. Me not depend that with none of them. And let me tell you something else too. Why I neither want it nor do I think it would work. Yeah. Because if it has to be more inclusive, it must be more personal and more inclusive. Personal on the level which part each person have to be committed to being that person that they think the place needs to have. You have to first be the revolution in your own life. Because no matter who you put up at the top, if are some unscrupulous people I go have in my team, it no make no sense. Or in the cabinet or whatever them call it. At the end of the day, the greatest revolution that we can have here now are when individual people commit to living a decent, hopeful, clean life. In the space where them there. Because if you can't live that in the space where you there, if you can't live that in the community where you there, if you are thief in your own community, or thief from your community members, you think you're a top thief when you reach up there, and then mama now left with them one bag of thief now when me go have in a hoofer cabinet. Because you know what go happen there, so now me go say, oh, so me have a whole heap of thief in my cabinet, and then I'll get everything, and then they go all start corrupt, because you go say thief don't like thief with long bag, so you don't know what can happen after that. Each of us need to be committed to be the kind of citizen that we would like to see.
True indeed. We all play a role, Mama Kelly, and we all should, make sure that everybody is playing the role that they're supposed to play. And, we all also have a purpose. And, as long as you know what your purpose is, as you said, we need leaders. And we need the right leaders, people who are going to do the right job and make sure that they put the people first.
And Beau-regard, don't get this twisted, Leaders need people who can be led. So that's another thing, because if you have people in front of you who cannot be led, if you have a team of corrupted people, leaders need hopeful followers, people who are sold on the mission. And that is why it's really a team effort. It is never one person. It is always a team effort. And if you don't have that team, you don't have nothing. You have nothing.
I agree with you 100%, Mama Kelly. Just to, close out this marijuana conversation, say from I hear about this, Mama Kelly, that this thing, marijuana, was coming from Canada into Jamaica. I call Pauline and she not answer, no.
Me tell you already, say I right girl for the case. Because me not tell you why already. I have 4 shoes my girl have for trampler now. So. But you know what? We need to take a break, Beau-regard. Are we being called on to take a break? No?
Yes, in about a minute or two.
Okay. Yeah. You know what I keep remembering, that every time I remember it, I bust out a new laugh, especially when I find myself eating something that tastes good.
Yeah, man. A real thing, Mama Kelly. You know how much people tackle me on the road, but I'm away here that nonsense.
Me say, I forgot to tell my brother, I forgot to tell my brother, because at them kind of idiot joke here, my brother thrive pan. So, I forgot to tell him, what you having for dinner, God? Oh, it is nice? Yeah, man, pitoti.
No. I want to say anything that tastes good. It's not good for you. It's not good for you, Mama Kelly.
Oh my goodness, that one was really hilarious. Anyway, we're going to take a break?
Yeah, we're going to take a break and then we'll come back.
All right, cool.
Yes. Something brand spanking new from Junior X.
You've got to have a purpose.
Mama Kelly, I know you interviewed him a couple of weeks ago.
Find your purpose.
Gotta find your purpose, Mama Kelly.
Beau-regard, You know, you talk softly upon the people them radio, you don't know what go on with me. Watch this now. Me cue up that song you have to play when we come out of Global Connection. But in my mind, watch it now, but me I say, but it now play. So oh me I hear it. I would have touched every button. And me I say, but it's still a play and it depend pause. And then me stop and me say, here we are. A Beau-regard I play the tune when me cue up that in a Beau-regard.
Tell you, Mama, may I tell you, there's something over this, us, and what we do here.
I am telling you.
And this is about the third, fourth time that
it's
things
scary
of this
now.
has happened. Yes.
It's scary.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
So
man.
that's why I say you did it. And me I wonder if that be the boat.
No, not up.
What is not this?
Yeah, I remember you interviewed him, and unfortunately I wasn't able to sit in on that interview. But you know, purpose, a very big tune, and you have to say, and we were just talking about, you know, people having their purpose, and you know, the purpose of putting people in leadership roles, and what they need to do as leaders, and you know, people also being led. You know, that's also a purpose, and you know, it's a great thing when you know your purpose and can utilize your purpose to the best of your ability to help yourself and to help others. You know, that's
absolutely.
a great thing.
And we must stop. You know, being negative about people who are good followers, because it depends on what they or who they're following. Because every leader needs people who, when I say follower, you know what I mean, who are prepared to have them lead. They're going to obviously have their input, and it is consensus, but somebody has to be chosen to lead. So it is a wonderful thing to be part of a team and to be a team player.
And the good thing about being a follower is that you are comfortable with the person that's leading.
That's it.
Yeah. You have put them in that role, you have accepted that role for them. So, you know, that's a good thing when you accept that role.
Absolutely. And sometimes that's the best thing for us to do. You know, everybody wants to be the leader. Everybody wants to be on stage. Nobody no want to produce. Everybody just want the bling. And there is strength in being a vice president or a deputy prime minister. There's strength in that, especially if you have power to influence the leader.
And sometimes there are people who lead and you don't even see them, Mama Kelly.
Well,
there are people who are behind the scenes making everything happen, and you know, they're the quiet giants sometimes, as we call them. You know, you don't really get to see them, but there's an impact in what they do, just as you say.
True.
And,
just one quick note. This one says, I agree, Beau-regard. Politicians here need term limits. Get rid of the tired blood and put in some new, younger, forward-thinking people. Been advocating for that and will continue. She's your side.
Thank you so much.
The person who wrote that. Yes.
Yeah, man. Finding your purpose. That's what it's all about. Big up Cinta Shea. She's on tonight here in New York City for her show, Chasing Purpose. Big respects to her. And Mama Kelly, speaking about purpose, I've also found another purpose. And I'm doing it daily now after I leave the radio show and I go home. My next purpose is to teach my sons how to drive. I have a couple of them. I have a couple of them that I've been, you know, doing driving lessons with them every day when the weather is good, you know, and take them out so them can get out there on the road and, you know, start to be a part of society in that aspect.
Can I say to you, Beau-regard, as someone who has mothered children at that stage, is the best thing you could have done. Yes. Because you see, when you can teach them to drive at a stage where they will actually listen to what you say, is a different human being from when them get bigger and nobody can talk to them. I
tell you.
So as a good thing you do.
Yeah, man, definitely. And you know, my wife, she's very fearful of, you know, she has those little anxiety issues where, you know, if they make a little one turn with the wheel or them not hit the brakes too far, she, you know, after her heart start beat. So I tell her she have to untangle her fear there.
No, look here. When? No, you have certain things we cannot untangle. Yeah. Like that. Because, I mean, you know, let me tell you what that looks like. me not care. You know what, untangle or something.
That's why me out there do it. And it's not just, you know, a woman alone have that something then. A lot of women, you know, they might have it, and a lot of men as well, you know, they fearful about teaching someone how to drive.
I understand that.
Yeah,
You know, when I
because-
decided that I needed to have my sons drive, the first time my son them thief the car out of the driveway, I made it after them time they are stick shift, you know. I made it after watching car back the car, cause him never knows when me reach with me there home because me turn back. So he never anticipate that when the thief in. So I had to watch him come in, realize that I am home, realize that I am not pleased, watch him park that car using a stick shift with the whole of him friend them wrong at the back. And to be
But-
honest with you,
But you know, Mama Kelly, when they go ahead and make the first move, you know they're gonna learn quick.
that's exactly what his
Yeah.
father said.
Yeah, man,
Him
when they make the
father said
first
to me,
move.
so him do all right perfect. Instead of me think the man go, me think the man go say, no, no. So wait, little bit. Him do all of that perfect, and him still say you did that. That means him free than do the whole of that. Big respect. Come here, youth.
Yeah, man, them ready for do it. Once you see them,
Them ready
make
for
the
it. Them
first
ready
move,
for it.
Them ready.
Them
for
ready
it.
for it now. Yeah,
Yeah,
man.
so you
So
just
we
embrace
go
them
through
and,
the
you know.
whole of them something there, and your boys are at the perfect time. What wifey need for do now is teach you to cook.
You know, some more time, Mama Kelly, just to ease up the pressure in the house. Sometimes I forgot you and say, babe, so you want me to cook today?
No. What a hypocrite. She's supposed to look for you like, you really take the speed that you cannot cook.
She don't even look for me. She just cut her eyebrow time and kiss her teeth.
Oy, oy. I can't laugh. You
I
know.
just said, well, you don't love me.
Where you really there, Pat?
Yeah, man.
Oh my
No,
goodness.
that's one of my purposes right now that I'm dealing with, you know, making sure that they, you know, learn to drive from now. Get that out of the way
Yeah.
and sort that out.
So
Also,
you know why you're
go
about the
ahead.
fireman?
Of course, yes.
So-
yes.
When you hear about the fireman?
Why all me here saying it up? What was it? The JUTC building in Halfway Tree? Yeah, man.
Yeah, the terminals. Mhm.
The terminal
Half a
there.
tree, Yeah.
Mhm. So I hear that he was up there protesting.
Right.
Then eventually he came down and he said that he got a call from his wife, and she was the one who talked him down, and him just slide down like I want slide him there in the park. Come down.
Is it the power of woman though?
Why, I tell you.
Me can't just imagine that talk, you know, because as much as people would like us to think, she says, honey,
Oh, we know, say that's how she talk too. Suppose that the other way around. Suppose that's some bad up go on, Mama.
get right, how are you doing?
What you do? I embarrass you, I embarrass me.
And the picnic them. And the
My
picnic
friend them
them.
a call me and I say, you're there up on top of. You better come down.
You know, Beauregard, we never thought of it like that. You know, it's
Wow.
interesting how different man and woman talk and think, you know.
Yeah.
Because we had a sane and conversation about this without bringing in the wife. And what she could have tell him, make him calm down.
Yes. But for his purpose now, what was his purpose? What was he really saying?
All right. So most of us, a lot of us, because when I saw the news item, I honestly thought it was somebody of unsound mind, and he was just doing that and, you know, hoping that he came down safely. But based on his concerns and how he presented them when he came down, it is obvious that he is, in my opinion, not of unsound mind, and he presented his case very well, represented the fire workers well, spoke about the benefits that they've not been getting, spoke about the fact that unlike other government workers, they're not asking for raise of pay, they're just asking for respect. And he presented it very, very well. So it's just a case, and we were untangling it this morning, Lafaine and I, and we were thinking to ourselves that the average person will you know, support the teachers, the average person will support the police officers, but this gentleman must have thought that where will he get the kind of attention that he needs for fireman? 'Cause everybody just feels that those people will swing down on the something there and out fire. So probably he thought that in order for firemen and women to get the kind of attention that they need, he needed to have done that. And I salute him.
Nice. I also salute him, Mama Kelly, for getting the attention of the people that he needed to get the attention of. No one was hurt, no one was injured. That is a
Exactly.
great thing. And also, I want to big up one other thing in this whole situation, and for many other situations, social media, Mama Kelly.
Yeah.
Because you hear the first thing that you said, and it wouldn't be you alone. A lot of people might have thought that he's someone of unsound mind.
Yeah.
And without social media and the news just getting out there as raw as it is, sometimes you might have heard that, madman up on top of the building in a
It's
halfway
true.
tree, a protest and all kind of thing. And we would have
True,
never known
true.
he was a firefighter.
Right.
And what his purpose for protesting is. So, social media plays a big role in getting the truth out there.
I agree with you
sometimes.
100%. And from the ground up, because a lot of the news we get is from up to the ground. So, but social media has a way of getting it from the ground up, and I agree with you 100%. So, he had his point. Apparently, he had demonstrated some time before himself and his colleagues, some of his colleagues, and he was actually suspended. So he's on suspension now, and this time he did it alone, because I'm sure the colleagues who were suspended the last time now go in no hurry if you come back again. Worse this time on top of roof.
Right.
So he did it alone, and the fact that he feels so passionately about, because that's really what he was there for.
Right.
So the fact that he feels so passionately about it and prepared to go that length, big up yourself.
And this also brings attention to the plight of many other, what's the word? Essential workers
That's
in
right.
Jamaica. We just had the conversation last week about the teachers, and glad to see that they are back in school, and they came to an agreement or an arrangement to make sure that they get the proper, things that they need, whether it be financial or working conditions. That's a great thing also. So, big ups to him for bringing the attention as well.
Well, you talk
for
about
other
that, Beauregard.
firefighters.
Something is that we were talking about today, as we untangle that story, how different essential workers are looked on in developed countries.
Yes.
In developing countries, it's a job you take when you can't get no other work. But in developed countries, it is seen as what it is, an essential service.
Yes.
And they're paid accordingly.
True. Yeah, man. So once again, big ups to that fireman, and big up to all of our teachers, all of our police officers, nurses, doctors, that's everybody in Jamaica and around the world making things happen, Mama Kelly.
Yeah.
2 minutes we have to go, Mama Kelly, and I just want to let you know that it's March Madness here. Just to lighten up the thing before we go, in basketball, they're getting ready for that situation. College basketball is a big tournament for the whole month of March, so we'll be keeping our eyes on that, and a lot of students are going to be on spring break this week as well.
Wonderful. It's always a pleasure to see students on spring break. Hold on. Last thing now, somebody sent something, them listeners now play with the thing, Oh, this is an aside. I have friends, that is, that, that not we're talking about. You hold on a little bit. Oh, love that quantum connection. So them calling it the quantum connection. So still global. We're still
Nice.
good with that.
Nice. It's been a pleasure, Mama Kelly, once again.
Yes, it always is.
Always is.
Bless
You
up
have a
New York.
wonderful weekend. Jamaica, bless upon yourselves and be safe. And we'll talk again next Thursday, Mama.
All right. Take care.
Take care.
Wow. Always a wonderful connection. So it is now 12:59, soon 1 o'clock in the afternoon. And remember now, every Thursday from since this time change, because United States is on what do you call it now? What do you call it? Daylight saving time. So the times have switched up. So for as long as it lasts, we're going to be having the global connection at 12 instead of 1 for as long as it lasts. So we say enough respect. Thank you very much again, Beauregard. And thank you very much, to our listeners in the tri-state. Always a pleasure. So we have live online Simone Sobers, who is founder, president of Winsome Wishes for Kids. Good afternoon, Simone.
Good afternoon, sir, and thanks for having me on the Bridge FM.
Okay, my name is Elise, so we're going to be having this conversation about, first of all, about the inspiration behind Winsome Wishes. What was the inspiration behind this organization?
There are so many inspirations, but solely the children of Jamaica, and just want to see them become their best selves. That's it.
Basically, that's it.
Yes, sir.
And where did the inspiration come from?
I've been giving back to Jamaica more than 30 years, and it's a part of my family tree. My grandmother, who would brought home a child every other week. So I grew up with a lot of persons within my household that we were not blood related, but eventually we became family, and it's just that kind of a nurturing of children and persons that comes into my household that resonates within my being all my life. So it's just a natural thing for me to want to ensure that each and every child that I come in contact with becomes their best self.
Hear you. So where did the name come from, Winsome Wishes for Kids?
Okay. So Winsome was my sister. May 1st would make 30 years that I would have lost my own sister. And we were very close. And I just organized myself in 2020 and my children decided that we should call the organization Winsome Wishes for Kids.
Oh, that's wonderful. All right, so let's talk about the concept of the organization and what's your mission.
As I shared earlier, the mission is to help struggling students become their best selves. And how do we do that? We have to support and nurture our teachers' educational and training so that they can be equipped with the tools necessary to assist the child and the children wherever they see fit.
It seems to me like a broad spectrum because intellectual disabilities is where your focus is. How wide is that?
How wide it is?
Yes, in terms of what constitutes in your mind or in terms of the focus of your institution, intellectual disability.
Okay, well, there are many children out there that they're naturally born with learning disabilities, and if the teachers are not equipped to understand how these children learn because they're born with it, it's not going anywhere. There's no medication out there to assist them, so we have to equip our teachers to help our children who are struggling with the learning disabilities that our teachers are unable to identify and understand how to support. So that is where the intellectual disability comes in, where we're not understanding our learners because they have all these different learning disabilities. So it affects their intellectual disabilities.
I understand that. I'm just thinking about, equipping teachers to deal with a subject as wide as intellectual disability, because that can range from not even being able to speak to speaking poorly to, there are so many aspects of it. So how have you found being able to equip teachers?
Okay, what we do, we support from mild, moderate. We are unable to support moderate to severe. And how do we support our teachers? We are partnered with Whitworth Institute in New York. We're also partnered with the Higher Potential for Learning out of Nevada, a Caribbean sister, and they provide us with various workshops supporting our teachers to have a better understanding of their learners.
Okay, got you. All right, so one such workshop is the Best of the Village Fair. Let us talk about that.
That's a mental health workshop, and that only came about because we did some screenings last June, and we saw where children had more than one learning disabilities. There were some with at least up to 3, and many of them had mental issues on top of the learning disabilities. So
Yeah.
we decided, because we are early detection and early intervention, we just wanted to highlight, especially in the children in the early childhood years, that it's not only adults or teenagers who are going through these issues, but we have children, you know, in the from grade kindergarten up to grade 4 and older that are having these challenges, and we need to address them early so that they can we can put whatever resources and support in place
Right.
to best help them along their educational journey.
Right, I hear you. This process would have to include the parents and the teachers.
Absolutely.
Yeah. How are they going to be included, especially in the workshop?
Okay, so on Friday we have schools at the workshop, and on Saturday, where we need to see more parents and educators signing up, that is where we are going to provide information to the parents on the Saturday, March 18th.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit more about that. It's actually Friday and Saturday. So what happens on Friday as opposed to what happens on Saturday?
Okay, well, because it's students, the doctors will be speaking, you know, with the students in a relatable manner and collaborative and interactive. And then on the Saturday, even though the information might be same, it's a bit more, you know, streamed for adults and educators.
Okay, so at what point will they meet with the children?
At what point who will need? I'm not sure about the question. The
Okay.
doctor.
Okay, you understand what I'm saying though, because you know it just seems to me that, especially when children have mental issues, it is just good to educate the parents while they are among the children.
We understand that, but because we wanted it really based, we wanted it more student-centered. We wanted the students have a better understanding of what's going on,
Okay.
not only with themselves, but with even the students around them that they interact with, and how best they can support their peers.
Okay, it does say student-centered mental health workshop, so I get you loud and clear. All right. So how is the registration going, and how do we register?
Okay, so the registration, we are overwhelmed with the, for Friday, March 17th. We thank all those schools who have signed up, and we're looking forward to seeing them. March 18th is struggling. I'm not sure why parents and educators are not signing up, because we have 3 great doctors coming up, you know, coming to share information with us. How can they sign up? They can visit my website, www.kids.org, www.kids.org. Go to programs, scroll down, you'll see the flyer, and they can hit the registration button there.
Okay. And finally, Simone, who are the guest speakers?
Our guest speakers are Dr. Clay from Higher Potential for Learning out of Nevada. As I said, she's a Caribbean sister. She's from Trinidad. We have Dr. Charles King from Phoenix Counseling here in Kingston. And we have Dr. Teresa Taylor Williams out of New York, a psychotherapist.
Oh, great. And is there anything else you want to add about the Best of Me Village Fair or about the organization?
We just first to come and come with an open mind and bring the best of everything positive to the workshop.
I hear you. Thank you very much for talking with us, and we really hope that it is a success, because, you know, once we start dealing with the mental health of children, it means that we're going to start to nip it in the bud, and to me that is just a wonderful thing.
Absolutely. Early identification, early intervention is the key to the success of our children, and that's what our aim is.
Thanks again, Simone. Thank you very much for talking with us. Have yourself a wonderful rest of the afternoon.
And I thank you for having me.
Most
Thank you, the Bridge FM, and thanks to all our sponsors who have come on board to support. Thank you, AC Hotel, JetBlue, the Bridge FM, Irie Jam, Cozy Corner Kids, Silver Bowl Restaurant, Tasties, Main Event, Mayberry Investments. Thank you all for all your support.
Okay, thanks again. That was Simone Sobers, and Simone is the founder president of Winsome Wishes for Kids, and that's an organization you heard her say which was launched in 2020, and it was launched to serve Jamaican children living with intellectual disabilities. And we also spoke about the workshops that are going to be happening this weekend, and that's the Best of May Village Fair. It's a 2-day workshop scheduled for tomorrow, March 17, and also Saturday, March 18. It's going to be at the Jamaica College Auditorium. So we're going to take a break.